Hey YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Silver, and today we're going to be talking about some different Tactical Slayer tips and tricks that you guys can utilize to level up your gameplay in your Tactical Slayer matches. Now firstly, we're going to be talking about crosshair placement. Now headshots are extremely important in Tactical Slayer because of their ability to gain an instant kill. Consistently keeping your reticle at head level eliminates the need to adjust your crosshair placement towards the enemy's head, allowing you to engage in combat immediately after encountering an enemy player. So during your games, practice keeping your crosshair steady, keep your reticle at head level, and try to predict your opponent's movements so you can adjust your aim accordingly. And also anticipate where enemies are coming from and adjust your reticle placement beforehand to increase your chances of landing a headshot. One method that can help you out a ton in your games is side strafing. That way you don't have to adjust your aim all too much, and instead you can move yourself into a position where your reticle lines up with the enemy player's head. Now tip number 2 is going to be keeping your distance. Now keeping your distance in Tactical Slayer allows you to have more control over gunfights. By engaging enemies from a distance, you have more time to compose yourself and aim down sights before engaging the enemy. In close range gunfights, you're given little time to prepare for a fight, and so you will have to rely on your reaction time. But engaging players long distance is a great way to keep gunfights more controllable and avoid engaging players in situations where you may be caught off guard. Furthermore, keeping your distance from enemies also ensures that enemies are incapable of meleeing you, so make sure you keep your distance in Tactical Slayer, and again practice your crosshair placement to prime yourself for long range engagements. And tip number 3 is going to be utilizing cover. Now in a mode where players have low health, cover becomes more important than ever. Make sure to utilize cover when taking fire from the enemy and wait for an opportunity to return fire. Things like crouching behind low objects can work wonders in stopping the enemy from getting an easy headshot on you. And also try to be unpredictable when peeking from behind cover. If you have already peeked a certain angle a few times, make sure to switch it up to throw off the enemy and gain the advantage. Jumping up from behind cover is also a great way to deal damage to players from afar, possibly securing a headshot before going back behind cover to protect yourself from incoming damage. Now the next tip is peeking and holding tight angles. Holding tight angles is a great way of quickly eliminating unsuspecting enemies while also lowering your own profile. When you suspect an enemy is inside a room or round a corner, instead of rushing round to engage, slowly peek and engage them from there. Now peeking works best when you are peeking a corner to your right, because your gun will always come out first before your player's body, and this way it lowers your profile and minimizes your potential of taking damage while priming you to engage the enemy. Holding angles and choke points is also another great way to gain an advantage, as you already have your gun up and ready, whereas players who may be sprinting will have their weapon away, and this allows you to fire your shot first. The next tip is going to be minimizing sprinting. So yeah, you're going to want to minimize sprinting even more in Tactical Slayer, because when you are sprinting and encounter an enemy, you will be at a disadvantage because while you are sprinting, your weapon is away, preventing you from firing as quickly as you could be. When you suspect enemies are close, make sure to hold off from sprinting. This way you already have your weapon up and you can immediately shoot at the enemy once they cross into your line of sight. This tip can also be applied when you are navigating round corners. Instead of sprinting, slide or peek to survey the area with your weapon up so that you are ready for potential engagements. The next tip is going to be utilizing height advantage. Engaging with enemies from below makes it so much easier to land a headshot on the enemy without having to adjust your aim all too much. Not only does having the high ground make it easier to land headshots on players below, but it also allows you to get the drop on unsuspecting enemies while also giving you a massive advantage over the gunfight. So make sure you utilize height advantage in your games, and also ensure that you avoid engaging players who already have the high ground, as a competent player with the height advantage will come out on top the majority of the time. The last tip we're going to be talking about is positioning. Now positioning is truly important in controlling the flow of the game. Being smart about your positioning primes you for engagements, but it also allows you to get the jump on unsuspecting enemies. Make sure you work on your positioning in these key areas. 1. During your games, make sure to position yourself in key choke points that have minimal flank routes and lines of sight to avoid getting shot in the back. 2. Ensure your team is spread out along a horizontal axis in smaller maps. This way you are able to control the enemy spawns, allowing you to better control the game. Also, you can call out enemy locations and your teammates can easily engage from afar. This positioning technique requires communication between you and your teammates and map knowledge, so make sure you play with a team you can communicate with and also work on your map knowledge. This technique works great on maps like Bazaar, when the middle of the map is fairly open instead of being split into 3 separate lanes. And finally 3, if a teammate is eliminated, take note of where they were eliminated from and engage the enemy from a different angle. Because the enemy is already looking in that general direction, because obviously your teammate was eliminated, you can use this information to approach the enemy from a different point and surprise them. And there you have it, those are my tips and tricks for Tatical Slayer. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, as well as turn on post notifications to let you never miss a video just like this one. And also make sure to stick around for the outro and check out some of my other videos. But of course, that's all the time we have for today, so until next time guys, have a good rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video.